God of all creation. Blessed is our nation. Justice the shield and defender. May we live in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. Let one and all arise. Bring hearts so strong and true. Service be our honest endeavor. And the homeland of Kenya, heritage of splendor, from where we stand to defend. Let all with one.
Good evening, lovely people, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you tonight. Thank you for being part of the show. Thank you for always choosing Tembe to be part of what helps you to make sense of what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jakes. I'll be a facilitator and moderator for tonight. Allow me to invite you and to welcome you wherever you're watching me from. Let me know wacha nijue unatuona ukiwa wapi. Ni nani ameingia studio wa kwanza? Asante sana, naona ujumbe zimeanza kutiririka. Nimekutumia link hapo. Tafadhali to join in, let's discuss and try to distill what was happening today. Ladies and gentlemen, today was the D-Day. Did you see what happened today? Watch to discuss. Join me in the studio. I've sent you the link, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me. Today was the day that Raila said it's the date with destiny. Did you feel it? Did you see it? Let me know. Let me know what you are saying. Wacha ni wasabai wawili watatu hapa ambao wameingia. Wa kwanza kabisa ni Joseph Wasonga, karibu sana kwa show. David Chilchil, ni asante sana na kutazama. Ninaona Ann Kariz ashatuma ujumbe, asante sana. Naona nani hapa? Elijah Arab Koech, asante sana kwa kutujoin. David Karisa, asante sana na kuona sana. Jamaa anajiita Jacom Jakang Jahoma Bay. Hey, asante sana, majina kali jamaa. Naona huyu jamaa mwingine anajiita nani? Joseph Wesonga. Asante sana kwa kuwa part of the show. Also let me know where you're watching us from. Salin Dion, sijui kani yule mwimbaji. Asante sana. Let's have you in the show. Ninamuona Vintim Olo. Thank you for being part of us tonight. Namuona Cheriot Hari. Asante sana. Namuona Maureen Kirimi. Kuna huyu jamaa anajiita Luke Kirui, asante sana. Hassan Bashi, ni asante sana. Namuona mmekuwa wengi mpaka inaruka. Wacha nirudi. Okay, jamaa anajiita aje? Weekly Foyondo, asante sana. Former One TV ninakuona, asante for being part of us. Onyango Nyaga, na asante sana. Churchill Otieno nakuona. Hassan Bashi nakuona. Na Lima Kiberenge nakuona. Unasema unatutazama ukiwa pande ya Qatar. Churchill Otieno unasema tutazama ukiwa maeneo ya Busia. Tueleze huko kulikuwa na maandamano ama ilikuwa tu huku Nairobi? Let us know, let us know, let us know. Davido na kuona uko ndani. Naona nani hapa? Namuona Mona William anasema ako ndani daima, maeneo ya daima, imara daima. Jamaa anajiita nani hapa? Babe Amish, asante sana kwa kuwa part of the show. Unasema aje? Hi Jakes, Monday tuko tena kwa barabara mpaka Ruto asalimu amri. Wacha nisikie maoni yako Mkenya. Naona huyu jamaa anajiita nani hapa? Mike Boy asema maoni yako kali jamaa. Anamuona nani hapa? Namuona Dominic Koech, asante sana. Baba Britney, ni asante baba Britney, habari ya Britney. Namuona Gasma Ramadhan Gaspa, asante sana. Anasema tuko pamoja, ni asante. Namuona nani hapa? Namuona Nyoyuma ako ndani. Nani mwingine? Malachi Kimeli ako ndani, asante sana. Rotich Rafael Paspa namuona ako ndani. Keep Justo nakuona uko ndani. Mike Boy nakuona uko ndani, na wengi ambao uko ndani. Leo kumekuwa kumoto. Let me know what you took from today's action. Watu ni wengi, naona wengi watuma salamu, wengi wasema niko Nairobi, niko Narok. Ni nani yako Narok? Freshi Sito anasema niko Narok, karibu sana. Namuona Brian Wanda, asante sana. Sami Mwema anasema ako wapi? Naikuru. Ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana kwa show. We have a great show lined up for you. We purpose to make sense of what happened today. Ruto gave a speech, and actually Raila made true his demand. He made true what he said he will do. I don't know what you think about it. I don't know what it will do to our economy. I don't know if it will change a lot. I don't know if they'll sit down and talk. Tell us, what do you think will happen by the end of the day? Karibu sana kwa show. Allow me to play one or two clips here, but I have already some panelists kwa show. Karibuni sana. Before I invite them, allow me to play two clips mbio mbio, alafu tuone ni namna gani. Karibuni sana.
Tumeona ya polisi, ni wazi kwamba Kenya haitakuwa vile tena. Wangapi anasema tumekataa kuwa vile tena? Kwa hivyo tusibanduke. Mungu ako pamoja nasi. Ni lazima bei ya unga iteremke. Ni lazima watoto wasome vizuri. Na hawa watu hawana ujuzi, hawana nia nzuri, wana nia mbaya. Wangapi atasema tutakaa ngangari? Wangapi? Thank you. Sasa Wajakoya.
Asante. Haya, kuanzia leo hakuna kulala. Kuanzia leo hakuna kwenda nyumbani. Kuanzia leo lazima mtu afukuzwe. Kuanzia leo hata wakitushika wafanye nini? Wameleta polisi, pambana na hao. Kuanzia leo ni Raila Odinga. Kuanzia leo ni uhuru wa Kenya. Kuanzia leo ni revolution. Asante. Wewe Mungu. Patie Grace Mwanga. Patie mama, patie pande hii. Grace Mwanga na babu.
Vijana ria. Aya, vijana ra. Wazee tibi, wazee tialala. Leo ni leo, samae kesho. Kama noma, kama mbaya, kama ngori.
Kama noma. Leo ilikuwa noma. Let me hear what you're saying. Kenyans, karibuni sana, leo kumewaka. I have able gentlemen here. Allow me to add them to show. Let me also have you, just mute kidogo, Mr. Amson. I don't know about you, but today was a great day in some aspect. It was also a challenging day, but all in all, we are all Kenyans. How are you affected by today? How did you get engaged the day? Let me know. Send your comments in, like many are doing. You can also join in the panelists and make sense of what is happening. I want to also say this, that you are allowed to join in, whether you support what is happening, whether you don't support, but by the end of the day you have a right to speak as a Kenyan. Link ndio hiyo hapo, ukiingia ndani unaingia, tunakuweka kwa show moja kwa moja, show watu wakija. Oh my God, I'm so sorry for that interruption. Nikos, naomba radhi. Mambo ya network hapa. Namwona nani hapa? Shadrack Chilchil anasema asante sana. Unasema vipi? Raila cannot be scared. But mlirudi na unga. Wacha tuendelee kuona maoni yenyu. Tunaona nani hapa? Douglas Mudhuri, asante sana kwa kuwa kwa show. Halima, asante sana kwa kuwa kwa show. Nianze na hao walio ndani ya show, lakini kidogo kabla nianze nao, wacha tusikie response ya president ilikuwa gani. Nelson, nakuona, asante sana, thank you for being part of the show. Amos, nakuona, asante sana. Wacha tumsikize rais alikuwa na yapi ya kunena.
Is actually condoning impunity, and there is no end to it. Once we go that slippery route, it could end anywhere. So I want to encourage us, as the people of Kenya, all of us, to respect the law, because it's made for all of us. And if there are any sections of the law, the Constitution, that we are unhappy about, there is a process for its amendment or change, so that we can at all times operate within the Constitution. Finally, Mr. Solicitor General, we have also committed ourselves, especially on the matter of two-thirds gender bill that currently is in discussion in the House. I will depend on you to support the push for us to once and for all settle this subject of gender in our
Sawa. Karibu sana Bwana Nelson, asante sana kwa kuwa part of the show. Thank you ladies and gentlemen, those watching us from far and wide. Karibuni sana. Let us know what you're saying about this topic today. Above all, let me know where you're watching us from. Nelson. Today ni ile siku. You are in Nairobi. Give us a feel. How was it today?
Well, first and foremost, me, I did not go to town. I did not go to work. My place of work is so much close to KICC, Supreme Court, and City Hall.
Okay.
And my employees turned up, but I was informed adequately that there were some 2 civilians who were given tear gas, walking around with tear gas almost in a sack sort of a bag. And they were throwing this tear gas everywhere and to anyone, whether you're just walking peacefully, whether you're just doing your own thing, whether you've just gone to town to do your own work. In fact, they even threw some to KCB Bank Salama branch. To an extent, they had to vacate everybody from the bank, and not everybody, like customers, staffs of the bank. So the only people who could remain inside the bank were the people who are operating from the operation side, the behind the tellers side. In fact, one of my banker, the lady who manages my account, called me and told me, "Hey Nelson, if you have not come, please don't come." She was calling to inquire about some transaction that I had commissioned earlier on. Now, Jake, have you heard of somebody eating an humble pie? If you heard and you watched and you saw and you analyzed as a good literature person, or other literature, somebody interested in body language and all that, good communication, a good communicator, you must have seen the president eating his humble pie. This is not the president who was so much hard yesterday in his voice and talking with a lot of vigor, with a lot of power, telling people how he's going to deal with them, telling people how the government has put in strategies to deal with the opposition and the Maandamano and the rest. Today, the president who was talking in the State House, his place of work, to me, I think that is the only work that the president had today, swearing in the Solicitor General. Other than that, even him, he was enjoying the holiday. And in fact, Raila promised a holiday. Francis Atuli said something one day that Raila is the only one person out of in Kenya today living who can declare and call a holiday out of the Kenyan gazetted holidays in the Constitution of Kenya, and it will happen. For me, in this case, a lot were at stake. People did not turn up at work. People did not go to their daily, normal daily operations and the rest. And as I said yesterday, I was not in support of that getting to that level. But then I am in support of the idea that we need to have a conversation. And if at all that is the manner in
Nelson,
which
if
we
I can engage you kidogo so that we can have the show running, eh? The deputy president alikuwa anasema waandamane hata mwaka mzima. With what happened today, do you think we can handle a mwaka mzima form of what we are having today?
No, we can't. First of all, the deputy president himself is the one who really lowered himself at while talking to a given
In Mombasa?
congregation in Mombasa. He even
Aha,
said, "I am requesting these people of Azimio to
to
kindly
stop the
call this
maandamano.
strike off by
Aha,
evening so that we can go back to work. The government has lost 2 billion. It is more than 2 billion, my brother. First of all, the county government of Nairobi was completely paralyzed today, including the governor was having a holiday. The county government of Nairobi. Now, before talking about the national government was also completely. If Gashago was in Nairobi, he could have been enjoying a holiday.
mute and Lamasho, mute so that we can. Deno and Lamasho, mute your mics kindly. Go ahead, Nelson.
If Gashago was in Nairobi, he could have enjoyed the same holiday that the rest of the Kenyans also enjoyed. Now, this is the thing. Raila only talked about a holiday being there. And it is like the government took it upon themselves to implement the fact that Raila has already talked about a holiday, we have to implement. If you looked at the people who turned up when Raila now finally showed up, together with Martha Karua and his people, Jake, you will agree with me, those people have nothing to lose. Jake, you will agree with me.
Nikuulize tu mbio tukisonga before nikaribisha kina Lamashan. You see, ilikuwa ni kwanza twende State House and then kukakuwa na change of plan kidogo tukawaona wameenda side za kina Isli and all. That change of tactic, do you think it was a strategy ama walikuwa forced na venye polisi waliwavamia?
Look, first of all, I was going there. I was headed there. As I was saying, as I started before, Raila only said there will be peaceful picketing, Maandamano and the rest, and then public holiday on Monday because he wanted these people to turn up for the so-called Maandamano and the picketing. And then the government took it upon itself to implement. How did the government implement? The government implemented a complete shutdown of operations in Nairobi and other parts of the country by employing and deploying police officers who are supposed to be out there fighting bandits, to fight innocent Kenyans who simply want to say, we are suffering. Lower the price of unga, lower the price of sugar, lower the price of cost of living. Now, I was telling you, the march to State House is neither here nor there. That's just an intimidating. It is just an intimidating language that the opposition is using to at least get the grip of attention of the government. But the government, as I said yesterday in the show, this is a timid, afraid, immature kind of people who are in power and do not know what to do in power with power. They do not have the wisdom to rule and to run. So for them, if Raila says we are going to do this, they're already in a panic mode. They act towards that, not knowing this could just be a strategy of what not to be done, of what not to be done. Again, as a political person and as a political leader, you want to address the people you had told to turn up.
Okay.
You
Just
come
one
to
moment.
address them.
Tu hapo umesema you wanted to address the people who turn up. Now, kuna watu pia hapa wameturn up kwa WhatsApp na kwa Facebook na naona Shadrack Kilchil ameturn up, naona Koskei Ezra ameturn up, naona Jacinta ameturn up, naona Educationist Kennedy ameturn up, naona nani mwingine hapa ameturn up. Manase Njuguna uko ndani, Julius Saberu uko ndani, Wasike Junior uko ndani, Hilary Thuranira uko ndani, asante sana. Mevo uko ndani, Steve Diaby uko ndani, Jackie L na kuona uko ndani. Wacha tusikie maoni yako. Wewe kwako leo ilikuwa holiday. What made your day today? What was that fantastic thing you saw? What was that amazing thing? What was that bad thing you saw? Wacha tujue. Today was a holiday. Did it make it or break it for you? Was it just someone is saying it was hot air? Just one moment, Amos. What tusikie maoni yako. Before I come back to you, Nelson, Amos, what is your reaction to what happened today? Amos? Aha. Amos, what is your reaction to what happened today, sir? Unmute yourself, sir. Unmute. Oh my, oh my. Are you able to unmute? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, we can hear you. What happened today to you? What was ilikuwa vipi?
Kwa mzuri lakini sasa mimi ndaumu serikali. Inasema hivyo. Wakati wa keti man ilikuwa nzuri. Natamani mama yako maandamano ya amani.
Sijui kwa nini uko na echo. Kama unaweza tulia tu mahali, uache kutembea, usimame tu kidogo, utulie ndio tusikie vizuri. Sorry?
Uko sawa hapa?
Uko sawa, endelea sasa.
Sasa hivi. Mimi nilikuwa nafahamu. Maandamano ilikuwa maandamano ya amani. Tulitangaza maandamano ya amani. Sawa, lakini sasa kwa serikali ilitumia maandamano kugandamiza watu wengine. Kwa mfano, wakati walikuwa kwa street nzuri, waacha kama South Africa waliingia. Sasa wana maana mzuri bila kelele bila nini. So pieces tunataka usifanye maandamano yetu vizuri bila fujo yenye ilikuwa. Mimi nashuku kama mimi naona kwa polisi
Amos nitakuuliza tu log out alafu log in. That way itasaidia.
Okay, sawa.
Wacha nikaribishe Dennis na Junior Wasike. Okay. Dennis na Junior Wasike, habari ya saa hizi? I hope mmekuwa na siku poa. Junior Wasike, uko tayari? Wasike, are you there? Hata nianze na mwenye namuona. Dennis, siku yako umeionaje leo? Holiday imekuleta vipi?
Imekuwa holiday ni kweli, na siku imeisha vizuri, isipokuwa jambo tu la kusema kwamba ingewezekana kungekuwa na maandamano ya amani. Lakini polisi wamefanya ikawa vile ilikuwa, but kwa mahali kubwa imekuwa ya amani, kwa sababu maandamano yalikuwa Eastleigh, yakaenda Mathare, hakukuwa na uharibifu, destruction ya mali, ilienda vizuri hadi Ruaraka. Kwa hivyo maybe polisi wa Kenya wamezoea kwamba maandamano ni lazima wananchi warushiwe tear gas. Ingewezekana wafanye maandamano ya amani, na hiyo ni haki ya kikatiba. Wana sababu
polisi walichangia shida za leo.
Wamechangia, yalikuwa maandamano ya amani. Kwa sababu kuanzia Eastleigh kuelekea Mathare, Ruaraka, hatujakuwa na incidents zozote za kusababisha kwamba watu wapoteze mali yao. Kwa hivyo ikiwezekana kwamba vile imefanyika South Africa, kwamba askari wanaheshimu haki za waandamanaji, wanawasaidia wasije wakapita mipaka, kuchunga mali na maisha ya waandamanaji, pia inaweza kuwa jambo nzuri. Lakini yale ambayo tumeona si vile mambo inastahili kuwa, and therefore lakini jambo lile ningependa kusema kwamba ni fahari wawili wakipigana nyasi ndio huumia. Ingekuwa bora kama Rais Ruto angekubali kuongea na opposition. Na unajua sasa Kenya hii tumekuwa na hii dhana ambayo sio nzuri, kwamba kuna wale wa Kenya ambao walipigia yule ambaye hakushinda, na kwa hivyo vile walipigia, tuseme sasa kwa mfano Raila Amolo Odinga, kwamba inakuwa ni winner take it all. Hata ukiangalia ule uteuzi umefanywa na rais wa sasa Ruto, amekuwa na ukabila sana, na tukasikia deputy wake akisema kwamba hii ni ya wanahisa. hisa kuwekeza kwa hii serikali ni kwamba ulipigia hii serikali kura. Kwa hivyo kama wewe hukupiga, wewe kazi yako utakuwa tu unalipa ushuru. Kuna wanahisa ambayo ni utterance mbaya sana kutoka kwa deputy president.
Dennis, hapo mimi nina swali wanaopewa hizi nafasi sio waliopiga kura, ni wale ambao walikuwa wana campaign. Wapiga kura kama mimi kwa mfano, ama yule aliyepiga kura kama Nelson na mwingine, hatujaona wapiga kura wa huko chini wakichaguliwa. So ni wapiga kura wanaotuzwa, ama hao ndio wenye hisa, ama ni wale ambao walikuwa pale wanaitwa ring leaders?
Unajua Kenya hii kupiga kura kuna mambo mbalimbali. Tuko na ukabila. Ukiangalia kwa kikubwa wale ambao wanatoka maeneo ya Rift Valley ambapo rais wa sasa anatoka na deputy president anatoka pande ya Central, watu wa area hiyo ndio wanaangaziwa kama wenye hisa, wamewekeza katika hii serikali kwa sababu ya kura nyingi ambazo walipatia yule ambaye aliishinda. Na kwa hivyo viongozi kutoka area hiyo ama upande huo ndio wanapewa nyadhifa mbalimbali serikalini, ambayo sio jambo nzuri. Na ni vizuri kuavoid mambo kama haya kuelekea mbele. Wakenya wote wajisikie wakiwa Wakenya. Mambo ya kura na upinzani na ushindani uliisha. Sasa yule ambaye alichaguliwa atumikie Wakenya wote, kwa sababu wote wanalipa ushuru. Hii mambo ya kueneza dhana potovu na incitement na ambayo inatoka kwa deputy president, kwa sababu deputy president amekuwa akiincite, amekuwa akikejeli Wakenya wengine, mpaka Wakenya wengine wanaanza kujisikia kwamba wao sio Wakenya kama wale wengine kwa sababu ya ushawishi wao wa kisiasa. Kwa hivyo pia wale ambao walitwikwa nyadhifa mbalimbali za uongozi wajaribu kuwa na mwelekeo na watumike wisdom, wasirushe tu maneno ya kishenzi kama haya ya deputy president ambayo yanaweza leta mgawanyiko katika taifa letu. Wakenya wote tulipiga kura tukachagua kiongozi ambaye ni baba wa taifa. Baba wa taifa si wale ambao walimpigia kura, ni wote including wale hawakumpigia kura. Ni wakati wa kuunganisha Wakenya, Kenya iwe moja. Tusonge mbele, tungoje wakati mwingine wa 2027, lakini matamshi kama hayo ambayo hayafikiriwi vizuri anaweza yakaleta mgawanyiko. Asante.
Maoni mazuri sana kaa kwa studio. Naona Nash ako ndani, naona Charles Kamau ako ndani, Mason Sanda namuona ako ndani, Lisa Kauchi namuona ako ndani. Asante sana Baba the Fifth kwa kutujoin kwa show. Namuona Ole Tuko uko ndani ya show. Namuona Lemashan, nina swali kwako. Dennis, kuna point ana raise ya kuwa deputy president amekuwa akitoa maneno yanakaa kama ni coincide. Je, leo ilikuwa ni kama mwiba wa kujidunga ama ilikuwa ni sawa leo vile ilienda? Lemashan, ni wewe? Lemashan, unanisikia na kuona? Lemashan, unanisikia?
Network yake.
Okay. Wasike Junior, unanisikia?
Isn't
Nakusikia.
Hebu niambie, unaona aje leo ni deputy president aliinsight watu sana mpaka ikabidi leo ajitokeze waseme Kenya ni yetu sote, ama unaona vipi?
Kwa maoni yangu mali hapa, I don't think in any way the deputy president fuel happened today. What happened today was just planned, and what we were waiting for is we were waiting to see what will happen. Unfortunately, I would say police officers tried fueling events that occurred today out of the actions they displayed in the morning. So it seemed like giving Baba, let me make it clear, I'm not a supporter of Azimio, I'm a supporter of UDA. It looked like we are giving Baba a lot of respect by deploying a lot of police officers within town, major highways and everything. It looked like we are fueling this thing, like we are really accepting that Baba is strong. So in one another, it fueled the events had today. Even though they tried maintaining it in the afternoon when Baba came in, but we took the wrong turn when we deployed police officers early in the morning. You saw there were a lot of distractions that happened in the morning with a lot of vehicles being stormed. So many businesses were closed after police officers were seen there. Uh, Places of work were also closed. Banks were closed because now there was the fear that something terrible is going to happen. What these people could have done, they could have created a situation that was created back in 2018 by Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta when Raila Odinga was going to swear himself in. You see what Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta did, drew all the police officers. So in a way, he weakened Baba. Yeah. But by deploying police officers as early as 6:30, as early as 5, then you're trying to tell this guy, hey man, we fear you. We know what you're capable of doing. So that's what brings destruction. I would love to also add that as Kenyans, we need to reach a point whereby we're not just focusing on pleasing people. We should not just focus on pleasing our leaders, but let us focus on what is beneficial to us. I was trying to imagine if demonstrations happen every Monday, Baba is losing nothing. Many people, these politicians are losing. But we as Kenyans, you look at those mamas who sell things in town. You look at those boys who sell things in town. You look at these people who are doing businesses in town. You see, we are losing a lot of resources. We're losing so many things. So sometimes we do things emotionally, thinking we want to please these leaders. This morning, I was asking a friend of mine, do you know that if you happen to die today, Baba will not attend your funeral? You know that if you get injured today, Baba will not visit you in hospital. Neither will he pay your bills. Yeah. So it is very important that we discover new ways of approaching issues other than approaching issues in the so-called pro-consul methods, right? It is sad. It is sad that it is sad to note that these politicians are pursuing their own personal interests, and Raila, so to say, is pursuing his own personal interests. Uh, it goes without saying that he has businesses that are falling. In fact, I was also telling this friend of mine this morning that you see Baba's businesses, he's doing this gas business. It is running. You see, whether there are demonstrations or not, people will cook. Watu watapika na watatumia hiyo gas, biashara itaendelea. Lakini sisi ambao tunaenda kwenye street ikiharibika, sisi ambao tunauza vitabu, tunauza makalamu, tunauza maswiti, biashara imeharibika. You get? So it is really important that we discover the benefit should not be as my brother Dennis has said, si kwamba huyu alipigia Ruto kura na huyu alipigia Raila kura ni watu tofauti. We are all Kenyans. Yeah? So we need to get to the negotiating table and argue this thing realistically with a lot of respect. We don't argue it at an emotional level. I don't want to talk much. That's done.
Yeah, but be there, sir. Allow me to ask Nelson. Wasike is bringing in another point of view that we didn't have to go to the streets. Probably would have tried dialogue. What do you think, sir?
Jake, first of all, I applaud Wasike. I think this is the first sound mind UDA supporter or Kenya Kwanza supporter that I'm listening to in this platform. But I needed to ask him a few questions. First of all, a point of correction, Wasike, Raila do not run a gas business. Raila is only selling what is called gas cylinder, but not the gas itself. So don't get it twisted, because there is a lot of propaganda also being sold out there. Gas business, Brookside, it's high time, just the same way you are saying. And you sound so polished, which I really love that. You sound so much informed. You have information, you have facts with you. You are not talking rumors. So it is also good that we get to know that all these things that these people yell with in political rallies, they're just yelling to make us feel like, you know what, the enemy that you are supposed to be fighting is the same person telling you to fight the government. I think he's making a point. We did not have to get to this point where we have to go and demonstrate on the streets just because we want high cost of living to be lowered down. Because Wasike, another point that I wanted to ask him is when he talked about Raila fighting for his own interest and the rest. I can assure you, we all know that today as we're speaking, Raila is old enough. And I think even if he decides and go back to Karen and sit down, he can never lack even a thing until he dies, together with his family, until they die. In other words, I don't know if you're getting my point, but in other words, if this person has decided that disregard, despite the fact that I'm old, despite the fact that I'm comfortable and everything is at my disposal, I am going to the street, and my word is actually, let us forget about the open the server thing. Forget about that. I think two things that are so much in contention here, which are so much genuinely being talked about here. One
Uh-huh.
is cost of living. The other
Mm-hmm.
one is the constitution of our IBC commission. Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly speaking, Jake, we cannot have a platform whereby we are going into the field to play, and the team that is playing against the other team is the team that decided on the referee to, watch over the game. Elections are
Okay.
over, they're
Mm-hmm.
behind us. We need to
Mm-hmm.
focus, we need to come on
Mm-hmm.
the table, we need to talk
Okay.
about this thing, and we need to dialogue and we need to reason. What we need to
Maoni
have
mazuri. Mm-hmm.
what we need to have we need to
Mm-hmm.
have good political leaders and not good politicians in leadership. What
Okay.
the current president and the current deputy and the current everybody in the government has been portraying are good
Mm-hmm.
politicians with rhetorics and rumors, but not good
Okay.
political leaders.
Okay. Benson, I don't know what you see. How was it for you today? Did we accomplish what we intended to do when the day began? It was a Maandamano day. Kindly, Mr. Bonja, I'm removing you until you wear something, a shirt or something. Mr. Bonja, I'm removing you so that you can wear a shirt. Now, Benson, what do you think? Did it play out as it was planned?
Uh, let me say that I think it was good. As partly I was in Westlands, and tukakula tear gas kidogo when we reached town. Na let me say, Baba is right. It's never too wrong. And Baba, there are two things Baba is saying that. One, first of all, about leave alone about the servers. Baba is talking about the economy. Those are the real issues. He's also talking about the panel, the election panel that was elected by, that is seems to be selected, but the panel already has been selected by the government, and yet the law that was there, that was passed in the parliament, it was passed when the ASMIO affiliates MPs were not there. And therefore, I can say I attribute that the field is not well leveled for all the players to engage in another 2027 coming election, whereby that is now the pressing issues whereby is wanted to be engaged in, so that at least there will be a solution. Because even tomorrow I may be wanted to become a president, but when the field is not level right now, at this juncture, even at the future, it cannot. So therefore, Baba is trying to fight for us, but people will not see. This man called Raila Odinga, as you have seen, even he has already, starting from another 5 years down the line, has already he started also investing to the restaurants, hotel. For that guy, he has money. He has already made his money that even he can eat until he dies and live for his own children. So this man is really fighting for us.
Okay.
And therefore, we can say we can attribute Baba as an icon, because he cannot go to the bed while he sees Kenyans suffering. Because I personally am being paid, have a salary, maybe I have a business, but there are people there in the streets who do not afford even to get a little at 50 bob a day to eat. But the government is saying that they are looking for a long solutions. But how can you look for a long solutions? How can you look for a long solutions when you see people are dying in the streets? People are dying in Mandera. People are dying in Isiolo, in Kajiado. Why don't you take that little that we have and feed them? And feed them as we wait for a long solution to fix the economy.
Okay.
I think the government is not right. One. Secondly, how can you use the entire budget of the office of the president, the office of the deputy president? Until now, it has been increased to another level. The share. Secondly, where
Kidogo
in
Kidogo
in
tu,
the la in
I don't
the
know if it is me. Just one moment, Benz. I don't know if it's me, but your voice is breaking up. Is it okay, Nelson? Can you hear him well?
No, he's breaking up, but he's bringing
yes,
some
I
good
can hear
points.
you.
Yeah, you are bringing in some good points. If do this, Benson, log out, log in. It will try probably remove that feedback you're getting. Arika,
But
how are you, my brother? I happy to see you.
Yep.
Welcome, Nyumbani.
Jack,
Thank
let
you,
me put
Dix. Long time.
Always a pleasure to have you. Just Kidogo to Nelson. David, I know you're far, but what do you make of what happened today?
A quick point from my side as a person. I think the rally to a large extent flopped actually. That's what I can say. It flopped because Baba could not access not only State House but CBD. And to a large extent, I saw the lieutenants of Baba not there, like the likes of Jalango, who controlled the base of Kibra and other part, that's Langata, I think. By him coming out the previous day and calling his troops not to appear to the Maandamano dealt a big blow to Baba.
Okay.
I also want to say that as a person, I didn't expect that kind of image we are seeing. But to a large extent, our police restrain themselves quite well because we have not had many cases of deaths or many injuries. So meaning some level of professionalism and tolerance was there. Marching forward, I want to appeal to all political players that let's sit down and talk. Because if we don't talk, we will fight. Let's talk and talk to one another, but not at each other. And lastly, I want to say that when we go to an election, let's be very honest to ourselves. We are going for two outcomes. There is no draw in elections. We either win or lose. When we lose, let's learn to say there's another day. We live to fight another day. When we win, we need to embrace others and know that these are also Kenyans. They had a good agenda for this country. Can we look for a way we can solve our problems without portraying our country as though it's a no-go zone?
Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, me, I'm here as a voice of reasons. And when somebody makes a mistake, I will not let them go scot-free without telling them. He has gone away, the last speaker. But I think it's good to have facts when we are coming on the show. Number one, according to Mr. David, he's talking as if he was expecting some reports of death cases. The problem we have in Kenya are people like him. Number two, Jalango do not control any base other than Wapek, which is his hotel. Jalango himself is being controlled by Baba. If you must have seen how he was chased away from a meeting in Machakos and the way he was looking at the people there, he was really feeling sorry for himself, but he didn't have any option. My question, which I wanted to throw in before he came on board, I wish you could have let me throw in that question so that I could have heard how he's reasoning. But again, it's sad that he's talking like that and he's not in this country. He doesn't know really what we're going through. If he thinks that Raila flopped or failed in his mission, that is him. I think he's the one who failed, and perhaps his expectations were not met according to his expectations. First of all, he promised a holiday, which the government in full force implemented. So he talked, and then people implemented. How? You bring a whole troop of police officers who are supposed to go. Do you think the government, we have police, we have KDF, let me say our military officers in Baringo. And time and again, the Minister of Interior has always said that they know where the bandits are hiding. The same way they knew where the Protestants, the people who are coming from Maandamano in town, were standing and were assembling. Do you think if there is anything stopping the government to take the number of police officers they took to town today to go and fight bandits who are killing people, instead of fighting people who do not even, number one, do not have any arm, do not have any gun, do not have any panga? In fact, they're the people who incited them to start carrying stones. Do you think it was necessary?
Jax,
Zinzao, I don't know if you can answer Nelson. Nelson is raising some valid questions. What do you think, sir? Me, I'm just a
Jax,
moderator. I don't know how to answer a question. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Zizao, it's
Jax,
you.
how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
How are you, Jax?
Go ahead. Yes, I'm fine. Salama sana, endelea.
I'm actually trying to get what some of colleagues are saying here, but I think I was part and parcel of those people who were so present in today's event.
Uh-huh.
And I think first, as a person who was actually very present there, I think it was more of a holiday as per se, as thing happened in town.
Mm-hmm.
Even before noon, the deputy president had to say, "Kana kwamba we have." So, in the real sense, is that the government tried to protect something that they had already lost in the MEC. Actually, like Raila got it so successful in his old plans, whereby in any case I have had her actually David trying to say like some of the members of Baba's side were not present. I don't think that they were so crucial because I actually got a certain lady from Nyamira trying to say like Baba is a human, or rather a human Gazette notice. So in the real sense, everything was happened just like how Baba said, because the plan B of Baba actually got it well.
Okay.
So I'm actually part of those people. I can attest kana kwamba I'm someone in uniform, and I will be just like if any case someone got to see a clip of an officer who actually had to run for his life.
Mm-hmm.
So it is issues about how do you take issues like okay, I've actually been given a mandate to go to actually give protection as per the law. But in any case, just like it does not happen that way. I'm a human being. I also have a life. I also have a life to
Zizao, I don't know if it's your net. I really needed to ask you one or two questions. But as you're working on that, Chelimo, mister, how are you?
kindly do ask.
Please do this. Either
I'm fine,
refresh or
sir.
something. You're having some degree of echo and some
I'm
lag.
fine,
Chelimo, some people are saying today
Jax.
was not
How
what
are you?
people were anticipating. According to you, uliona nini?
I think the Papa was so successful.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you 2 days ago, I
Mm-hmm.
talked to you to this forum 2 days ago, maybe 2 days or 3 days ago. I told
Uh-huh.
you Papa is more experienced. Papa is more experienced in
Mm-hmm.
politics than many of us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Papa used a tactic whereby the government was focusing on the State House and the KICC.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of it all, you find that Papa went to Matare
Mm-hmm.
and addressed the crowd so successful
Mm-hmm.
because he knew he could not really go to State House, and
Okay.
you saw yourself it was really hard for him to go to State House.
Okay.
Another thing, it was really another day today to get our deputy president. You saw the deputy president today. The tone was so low when he spoke that when he told Raila, please stop these meetings for the sake of the economy of the country. I think you have so in the. I think he was in. I don't know where he is. And it was my first time to get Mr. Gashagwa talking to so low. I think he was really requesting Raila on some on a leadership way to withdraw the demonstration. So as I saw today, the government was really.
Kindly mute.
I think that the
No.
government lost and was really annoyed with the way Raila said. Although in our side here in Rift Valley, we had no problem. But I was in Eldoret. Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you. Go ahead.
I'm saying, Chucks.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm saying, I went through to Eldoret today. I talked to some of my friends. You know, Eldoret is more than it's really UDA zone, but many people say it. Raila succeeded.
Okay.
In today's demonstration, of which
Wacha nipe
everybody
maoni
even in
yako hapo kwa
Eldoret is
comment
really
section. Just one
facing
moment,
the same problem we are facing, as I said the other
Okay.
time.
Okay. Nisikie maoni
Yes.
yako kweli hapo kwa section. Did Raila succeed? I don't know about you. Tell us. Did he succeed? Go ahead and talk to us. Aman from Bondo, I can see you. Thank you for being part of the show. Chelimo, I don't know if you're through, but I want to ask you a question. Do you see
Yes.
a way forward despite all this? Do you see a solution?
Success.
Oh my. Chelimo Skupati. A man from Bondo, how are you?
I think what Papa said is on Monday there will be a continuation of the same rally, but if really our president is thinking and is really doing what is right for us, he can really make a decision between today and Monday.
Okay. So the president needs to make a decision between today and Monday. A man from Bondo, do you think the president needs to do something between now and next Monday? Ama, whatever we saw today, it's okay. We need to see it every other Monday.
Okay. Yeah. I think the president, in my own opinion, I think first, he has no idea what to do. As much as he would have wished to make a decision or thought of making a decision. And I think today, when he did the swearing in, was also a little bit tactical thing in case if there was an intrusion towards the State House with the swearing in, then that could have been a reason maybe to use extra force that could have been in plan without being in plan. And another thing I can say about Raila is as much as we talk of politics and a lot of things, there's something we call human philosophy and the brain, how it works. And if you'll ask me what Raila is doing, I will simply tell you, maybe not Raila, but maybe he's also equally getting advice from someone. One, going to State House or to KICC will have never been a success as much as he knows if he wanted, he could have made it or the people could have gone. One thing is that when you want to make people do something, there's no Maandamano that can be successful, that people leave their livelihood to go for a Maandamano in the city. They own nothing in the city. So if they own nothing in the city, and then they have to leave their business to go to the city, it wouldn't work. But if you stop their business for them to have nothing and something to be spoiled for a while because they didn't do some business, then there will be urge for compensating for the pocket. So if you want to take them to the city, trust me, they will get into the city. And they will do exactly what you think, not what you told them, and not what you didn't plan. So that's one of our technical way. And if Ruto is smart, he should have thought. Another thing is, anytime when you are at war, you have to learn your topography. There is a video whereby the police were running. You know, you cannot take war to where this, people have the control of the area. It wouldn't work. So already, if the government has to be fixed, then technically, I will just say he's dealing with the people who have the skills. He's dealing with expertise who could not be even the Raila himself, because Raila is political. But this, technically, I see too much expertise in it. And maybe he should find a way to reach him and find out what does he want or how does he want it.
Okay. Now, would dialogue really help? Because some of the demands that are being raised, some are slightly difficult to achieve, because one, when we say the president to open the server, I don't know what law the president will be using for him to open the server. Now, as per you, how do you think we can go about toning down this pressure that is coming up?
I see a scenario whereby maybe splitting the country into two will come to be one of the options. Two, impeachment could be another thing on the way, alongside constant demonstration. And with this, we don't know which choice the president will have or in which corner he will be. And we don't know what maybe Raila will ask for or advocate for. So whether it will be, it's difficult to tell. But I think all of them, they're like in between a wall and a hard rock.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a situation that has...
You raise a point of impeachment, but the president is busy buying everybody. How can that come about? Because he has a super majority, if I may call it so.
It's not a problem, you know. When you don't have a country to run with the majority, then you become the fool. Yeah. And if there will be instability from the backstage where people are doing or exercising their economical right, and they've decided everything is on a standstill, as we saw, like in Madare and stuff, then probably the only place where there is something that is in store, like food, property, or something that anybody could have wished, is in the city. So if you make the economy at a standstill, then the invasion of the city is inevitable. And when it's inevitable that a mass has got nothing to eat, then we probably can tell exactly which direction they will be going. Maybe getting to State House will be easier. And maybe when it's already chaotic and out of hand, then you will not be able to control anybody, because already the problem that we've had as a nation is there has been a group of gangs where everyone wants to control a certain area, a certain zone. And if the government is destabilized, that is exactly what will happen.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a bad picture.
Jake, you know, I haven't finished my contribution.
Okay.
Kidogo tu, Nelson. A man from Bondo, I don't know if you're through.
Okay, I was saying it was a very bad picture. That you could see the government trustee, the people we gave confidence in, or the government had confidence in them. fleeing. That's already a turn-off.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know what's going to happen. It's a thing that we shouldn't have taken risk, or we shouldn't take risk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nelson, briefly to let me hear you.
Yeah, I started doing my contribution, and you told me to cut to pause a little bit. So
Yeah, and I'll be doing that so that at least an out of Sky Sana studio.
yeah. So
Yeah.
my point was basically was talking about how Raila achieved his main agenda and main thing and main point. First of all, he promised a holiday. He delivered. Secondly, he paralyzed almost everything in Nairobi County, Kisumu County, Kakamega County, Busia County, Migori County. How many counties have been affected? So largely, we can tense, and even Eldoret County, there was some big tension. Now, one thing that the media plus the common mwananchi thinks, which is bad, is that, you know what, in Nairobi it was only in Kibra, Madare, Kayole, and those other places that were so dangerous to even operate in. What they are forgetting is that the people who own businesses in town employs people from Kibra, people from Madare, people from those other places that they think are dangerous. It therefore means that if these people cannot turn up for work, even them, in fact, for them, once they've heard that there is some tension in town, they will never even start up their car to come to town.
Okay.
So basically, everything is at a standstill. Secondly, look at the manner in which people were agitated and so much spirited towards fighting the police in Kisumu, to be specific, for example, to an extent that the police ran out of tear gas. And they were telling them, Bwana, you people have eaten money for tear gas. Bwana, what are you doing? You mean you don't have tear? It got to a point where the police had to run away for their lives. My point is, if is conditional, if people have to picket, does the government have to incite them through the police to bring chaos, cause mayhem, cause bloodshed? Because I can assure you, whatever happened today in town, for example, CBD Nairobi, all the offices and the buildings that were demolished in terms of glasses broken with stones, they demolished roads and whatever thing that happened, it was all police doing. Do we have to use the taxpayers' money? Do you know how much the government spent today on facilitating the police officers? How much? Could that money be used somewhere else where it is much more needed, where it can make a lot of difference, where it can make a lot of sense? Where are our priorities as a nation?
Mm-hmm.
Where are our priorities as leaders? What
Okay.
do we think? Do we really think of the Wanjiku that we promised the government will be about you? This government we are going to form is about Mama Mboga. Are we even seeing Mama Mboga being featured anywhere? Is there any Mama Mboga who was appointed as a CAS? Is there any Mama Mboga who was appointed as a PS in all those departmental heads that were created? Have we seen any hustler being appointed in any state corporation?
Okay. I pause you a bit. Allow me to still continue asking people. Continue talking to us through your comments. I see TD Clips. You are in. Johnny, I see you. Roy Captain, I see you. Ngatish D, I see you. I see Angie Angela, I see you. And Fali Tami, I see you. Now, I have seen Mama Maendeleo Oyudre. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm coming to you because you're the lady now on the show. I don't know, you as a mother today, what did you feel seeing all that is happening? Could we have avoided all this?
I've heard you people talking. How are you all?
We are well, thank
I'm
you.
glad to see you well, smiling nicely, which is the best for Kenya, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've heard you people talking. It's
Mm-hmm.
only that so many people do not understand one thing.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, this Maandamano, everybody are now turning away from the reality and calling it Raila's. This Maandamano was not for Raila. It is for those people whom feel the pinch. And to speak the truth, there is a big pinch in them. I've been following you. Like yesterday, I heard you people talking so many things. Oh, bei ya unga imerudi to 180. Please, bei ya unga, I had to call back at Kenya, and they told me it's even worse in some shops, in some supermarkets. It's 280 instead of 250, because you know there is in Kenya there are some supermarkets which are for class people of class. There are some for ordinary people. Now the cheapest supermarket, which is for every local person, is are just there's one called what? Not Tuskies, but I don't know its name. This yellow one, and the one I know is Quickmart.
Naivas.
Naivas,
Naivas.
yeah, Naivas. Those people are selling unga at 260. And I said, what? I heard it has been taken, reduced to 180. Then they were, where, so that we can go. So there are so many propaganda which are going on. So those who are feeling the pinch are the ones who, I remember when this idea of marching to State House or marching what came, because I've been following Kenyans so much. That time, Baba was in South Africa. And Jeremiah Kioni came with something like the whistleblower has given them the correct results for or how the elections were conducted. And they were waiting for Baba to come and give them Maelekeo. It is like a child has been beaten by a neighbor's child, so you have to take to your father. That is what happened to these people. They took it to Raila, and Raila said, okay, how do this happen to my child? And Raila now is like, let us go and see. Raila is just the mediator for these people who do not have a voice, who do not have what. And a child always, surely, when she brings he or she brings his cry, and take your child to that boy, that person, he's going to react. And this is what is happening in Kenya now. You know, the cry of the people is what Raila is acting for. This thing is not for Raila. It is for those people who have the grievances of njaa, mafuta iko juu, everything, school fees, I heard everything has been increased. But they don't have anywhere to go. The government is not ready to listen to them. No, the government of the day, whenever they are in the podium, they talk shit. They talk things which are not even called for. They are not giving hope to the people. So if we would have been having a government with hope to the people, even if things are so difficult, you know, it would have been different. But it can't be different because everything, they don't know where to go. They are like, which corner can we go to? Which mother can I go to? Which father can I go to? And this is why all that reaction was there. This what I wanted to put across. Whoever is putting that Raila failed or what, nobody failed. In fact, the people who failed were the police officers who were spread to them, and actually they didn't do enough, which they were expecting. The police officers failed. And
Mama, if I may ask you, did we have to reach here?
yes. As for me, we had to reach here because it is me as a mother who is crying. The baby, when I go back home, the baby is crying, Mama, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. But if I look aside, I can't see anywhere. I don't even see a woman like me to go and borrow from. And the baby is crying. I have to. In fact, I have to react. That is why some people even go and rob houses because there's a big cry. We had to. In fact, we would have reached more than this earlier on than when it happened now. So the government has to do something for the people. Not even talking with Raila, because talking with Raila will be between the two of them, or 3, 4, 5. But what about the rest who are feeling the pinch? Yeah. What about those people who are sleeping hungry, who do not have anything to put in front of them, whom their children cannot go to school, whom their ways have been thwarted, they don't have anywhere to go. So we must look at this thing in a broader line, not in that Raila and Ruto and these people are politicians, but look at the ordinary person who is suffering in Kenya. You know, with us, like me, I'm not suffering because I'm in a foreign country. I can go do anything, any kind of an odd job if I need money so much. But nyumbani, hakuna hiyo odd job.
Okay.
You would like even to go and do an odd job, hata kuoshia mtu nguo. I remember there's a time I went home. Opening my door, I find 10 women in front of my door, they want to wash for me. I didn't even know what to do for them. Instead, what I had, I gave each and every person, enda ununue nini? Maziwa. Maziwa is what I can afford. Because they don't have. And that those jobs also, they are not there.
Okay.
So the government should do something. Let us not put Raila's name. Let us not even put, but the current government has to do something for the people of Kenya. Instead of appointing so many 50 CSS. What for? And your people are dying. Your people are in hunger. The drought is too much. I heard it is raining now, but even if it is raining, how long is it going to take for that for them to harvest? Thank you for now.
Just stick around, Mama. I'll still have a lot to ask you. I want to go to Josaman. I don't know if you're there and if you can hear me. Mama says that we ought to have reached here even sooner. Do you agree? And how was it for you today? Josaman, if you can unmute your mic so that I can hear you. Josaman, if you can hear me. Okay, seem to be having a problem. Dennis Oseko, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you very much. I keep on leaving because my phone is overeating. That is why. I want to say that we are in a situation we're in as a country because of the current leadership. The leadership doesn't realize that elections are over and that the leaders that are at the helm at the moment have a responsibility to provide leadership to those who voted for them and to those that never voted for them. We are seeing the president close to a year down the line. He is still moving around with members of his political battalion, speaking against the opposition. You know, talking so much against the opposition and the election that is behind us is not part of what Kenyans expect of the leadership that was sworn in and that is in place. That is not going to be part of their track record. They need to deliver. They need to provide services to the electorate. So the president and his deputy president, who actually has a very loose mouth, says anything to the electorate that are supposed to be united because Kenyans are one. Whatever the situation in Mombasa, whatever the situation in Nyeri, is the same situation in Kisumu. So by the end of the day, if the president is providing or is creating a toxic environment and not to understand what he's supposed to do as a president, as the CEO of a country who is not supposed to go take to the rooftops to be a crybaby. He is not supposed to tell us that he took over leadership and he found nothing. That is not what Kenyans want to hear. Kenyans want to hear solutions. And therefore, it is not just about what he will say. Solutions are not said. Solutions are done because he has the mandate. He is the president. He is at the helm. So therefore, he is supposed to provide the solution in doing and not just blaming the opposition leader who has no responsibility and who has no mandate to fix anything on behalf of the current government. And therefore, I just want to blame the current leadership for the situation in our country. And today's demonstrations, and as I said earlier, I still blame the police because they mismanaged the demonstrations. It ought not to have got chaotic as it happened. Because if the police allowed the demonstrators and the leaders of Raila Amolo Odinga, that is the opposition leaders, to address the crowd, it would be so easy. But you see this issue of police who are supposed to protect life and property. You see, they are now doing the opposite. They are the ones that are encouraging violence, and they are the ones that are even endangering the lives of those that they are supposed to, whose lives are they supposed to protect. So it is a very unfortunate situation, but the leadership ought to change their leadership style, stop the loose talk, and unite this country so that those who lost and still continue to pay taxes do not feel less Kenyans than some. And even the appointments that we've seen and we've witnessed are tribal. We have seen members of two communities dominantly getting appointed to various positions. This is not by accident. It is something that is purposed, and therefore Kenyans are watching. Kenyans are seeing what is happening, and you see these their reaction is long overdue, and we are expecting to see people demonstrate going forward if these two leaders do not talk, as they say in Swahili, fahari wawili wakipigana nyasi ndio umia. It is very unfortunate that the conversation now is not about ordinary people. It is about two individuals. But let's forget about these two individuals. If they could put their ego, their exaggerated self-importance, ego or character aside, and the mind about the plight of Kenyans, President Ruto should talk to Raila. But if it is about him, then he has no reason to talk to Raila. But as it is, and if they put Kenyans first, he should be able to swallow his pride. He is a father of the nation as it is now. He talks to Raila. He unites this country. Raila is equally Kenyan, like the many other Kenyans that are suffering. So, as a president, let him stop these partisan political declarations and loose talk and those connotations that are still want to put it out there that they are still competing. The time they contested and the time they were competing is behind us. It is time that he unites this country so that every taxpayer, every Kenyan feels part and parcel of this nation. So the buck stops with the president, the current leadership, and even the appointments that he does to government positions should reflect the face of Kenya. Otherwise, if he continues this way, this thing is going to burst and Kenyans are going to get out to the streets, and this country is going to be ungovernable. Thank you.
Okay, I want to go back to man of Bondo just before I come to Chelimo and still come back to Maendeleo, Mama. Now, let me ask you, a man from Bondo, what do you think this makes outside there to the people in the other world, other nations rather? are we tanking our image as a nation? Given that we are a nation that also get our revenue from tourists and all, are we tanking our economy through such maandamanos? Are we risking it?
Okay, thank you very much for the second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a very, very good question.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very wise question. And maybe before you asked it in that way, it was also part of something I wanted to address.
Mm-hmm.
We have to accept as a country, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, including me and you here. The first problem is the name and the term that has been used, ego. Ego. The kind of job somebody is given, you give people jobs, ego. And then another thing is knowledge, know-how. Not the desire, not the zeal. Another thing is the external influence, observation, or the question you've asked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the most dangerous way of expressing your ignorance is the ability to be on the media
Mm-hmm.
with lack of proper information
Mm-hmm.
or knowledge. Because the moment you're on the media, on the TV, you're very powerful. Everybody's watching. And you'll realize from the first political aspect, whichever, how many years it takes, there is no day Kenyan politicians will be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Today they are here, tomorrow they are there. This depicts a lot in culture from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a school, a kid is taught to debate why being a girl is better than being a boy, why being a boy is better than being a girl. But you can either be a boy or a girl, not anything else. We are not asked of how important are we to each other, but is how better are we to the other sex. That is war, that is conflict, that is politics. That's where we get it wrong. Every woman, every girl will need a man, every man needs a woman. That is the basis of nature and the basis of understanding. The moment we get in our adolescence age, a woman feels a young woman's sexual need equally as a man. You go to a woman, not a man. This is why even in marriages we fail. So when we come to the media, we argue, we give an enemy the best platform, an informed enemy on how to capitalize on us. One thing that I will leave you or teach you today, anytime there's any political conflict or there will be a Maandamano, expect a lot of foreign dignitaries, expect fundings. Why? That is the best time to get your prey. And when we go on the media, we expose our ignorance. We expose our inabilities. So it's a good thing. So that's why you get this external advisory where they will say, don't go to Kenya this time or don't do this. I will tell you for free, said, not said, no educated foreign, whether stupid or foreign person that will get into the country unless they're coming to capitalize on the situation. Full stop. So that's not a question. Another thing I would like to talk about, we have the reality, something called reality. Most of us, we live an illusionary life, think illusionary, and everything is illusion. We talk about power, we talk about food, we talk about prices. How much do we do farming? How many people are farming here? We complain of how much we give back at home. But do we give or pay people to do some jobs as farming, they get it as produce? Politically, what situation do we put in the country for these economical activities to thrive? If somebody who is a learned carpenter hello? Can you get me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, if somebody is a learned carpenter, cannot know how to properly use tools and computers in a competitive atmosphere with the Chinese man, then we'll have the China Square. Everybody knows the best thing. We can, that is the honest thing. That's real. We know how to choose. Hatutaki kuvaa mtumba, but hatutaki kupromote our own production. So how will we solve our problems if inequalities are there? We must be honest and realistic to ourselves. We must get rid of ego. We must understand what we need, why we need, and why should it be done. I have to understand my responsibility as an individual before I pinpoint on the government. The opposition should, before they pinpoint on the government. That is our biggest problem. Otherwise, we are never going to solve this problem.
Okay. Okay. Mama Maendeleo, let me ask you, as someone who is outside there, what came to your heart seeing the picture that this is your country in chaos? What do you feel in your heart, and how do you think it would affect? Because I'm sure today there are people who canceled their flight. There are tourists who were to come, or there are tourists who were locked in hotels because they couldn't fly out. To our economy that is still healing from COVID and other challenges and drought and all, do you see us surviving another form of challenge if this was to go on? Unmute yourself. Unmute.
I don't see why you are calling it chaos. There wasn't any chaos in Kenya. Yeah, there was no chaos because not so many injuries has been reported, although there were tear gas and so on and so forth. Probably I heard some police had to kill some few people, like I've heard about 4 or 5, but they were killed by the police. So the police wanted to bring chaos, but thank God it was halted. And do you know, sometimes this whatever happens into our African countries are being engineered by these people. Yeah. So probably they were engineered, and sometimes with myself, I thank God they didn't succeed, because it would have been chaos the same way you're calling it, but it never turned to be chaos because it was peaceful and and it was successful. So that way I've checked, I always check the whatever. So it's mostly so, since I'm in a dollar country, I always check the dollar, whether it has gone up, it has gone down. It has really and tremendously reduced, because like yesterday, if I even sent money yesterday, it was like 128 with this 75 cents, 1 shilling. But today, let me confirm for you. Today, if I want to send money right now, it will be 124. So don't you see a difference of $4.63 has come back? So that so those who do not understand what is going on, that probably this has been an interest of an influence from other places, do not understand. But those who do understand, like I know there was influence from where I am, which I am proud to say, they're the losers. And this is why I'm saying police lost tremendously. Because even the police, I don't blame the president, I don't blame the Kenya government, that they're the ones they are also talking with these people. So they are also being advised to do this and this so that chaos would be there. But thank God it turned differently. Today, the dollar, at least the dollar has gone down instead of, the shilling has gained instead of going down.
Okay.
So, as per what you are saying, does it affect us economically? No, it doesn't. But the economy can only be maintained and be made well by our people.
Okay.
But how? Bring the jobs, bring the business to make our money, which we are putting in our pillowcases and sleep with them, put them in the bank to circulate so that the country can be back to its steadiness.
Kumi yangu kumi yako. I don't know. What did you see of today? Karibu sana kwa show, pia kichwa maji. Hey, mko na maji na ng'ombe. Go ahead, sir.
Well, what we witnessed today was just a taste of what's to come. Where we are in a situation whereby the government promises kutakuwa na peaceful demonstration, police will not be used to attack protesters, but what we saw was the opposite. Heavy-handed police presence in the disguise of protecting businesses. What businesses were they protecting? They were not protecting any businesses. All they were doing was just attacking protesters. And this is a suppression of our freedom. This is something that I'm almost 40 years old now. I've seen the Moi era.
Yeah.
My first Maandamano was in 1992 in Kericho. When Raila and his brigade were there. That's the first demonstration I saw. And what I'm seeing today is just the return of Moi. Whereby the parliament has been bought, government officials have been bought, judges have been bought. What is left now is to sell the hustlers to anyone who brings the price to buy them. So the future of Kenya is at risk. And we are just joking, oh, Ruto, Raila. These people, Raila is going to leave. I'm not even sure if Raila can survive another 15 years because of age. Because of age, Raila will not survive another 15 years. But what are we going to do, me and you, for the next 15 years in this government? Ruto is just a copy of Museveni. And he's been brought there to protect someone's interests. His main agenda is to fight Chinese in East Africa and China influence. He's not there to protect our interests. Sisi tumebaki peke yetu. What are we going to do for ourselves? Nothing. So that's my take for the day. Kenya tuko peke yetu. Hii story ya Raila na Ruto, these are just lullabies. You're on your own, my friends.
Mama says this that what happened today does not really shake the economy. But I want to ask you, Kumiyangu Kumiyako,
Yeah.
does it scare away investors and people who would wish to come and invest, given that we saw businesses shut for better part of the day? Actually, if what the deputy president said is anything to go by, he said that 2 billion shillings or more was lost just today. Do you think this, what happened today, is something that can scare away investors and in somehow a bigger picture hurt the economy?
Well, we need to look at different dynamics when you talk of investors, because some of these investors, are they paying tax? Are they paying the required tax?
Okay.
They are not. Safaricom is one of the culprits. They are not paying enough tax. Airtel the same. So when we talk of investors, we also need to ask them, what tax are they paying? You know? So in regards to today's activity, yes, it has hurt the economy at the lower level. But at the high level, the corporate people, they're still enjoying they're milking the system. Yeah. At the end of the day, ni maskini ndo anasuffer.
Okay.
Yeah. And in regards to the dollar, the market across the world is shaky.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't see any changes in the dollar.
Oh, okay. Kichomaji, what do you say, sir?
Mi sina mengi. Jamaa huyu, he has done his research, anaelewa kweli vile mambo inaendelea, na I agree with him 100% that 5-10 years ago we thought Kenya is going into a right direction, but right now it seems it has diverted to the worse. And I'm not saying that according to what happened today. It's just about the whole thing, elections, and it seems that for the first time Kenya has been pushed designated president. You know, I never, I did pay too much attention to the election process and everything and the campaigns, but it seems that for the first time Kenya has been imposed a leader by the West. And I agree with my friend 100% that for outsiders' interests, that's why Ruto is there, and he's not there for any Kenyans, you know, and not even for his neighbors in Eldoret or the constituency that he led for almost more than 10 years. He doesn't care, and he's not there to serve Kenyans' interest. It's very sad that Raila is too old, and I feel very, very, very sorry, you know, very bad that I don't see anybody else that takes Raila's position, you know, to contain this man. And for that reason, I see Kenya going deep, deep hole. Yeah, to wrong directions. I don't see anybody else, and I hope Raila will survive. We will see him for the next 5 years to 10 years, so that maybe he can correct things. Yeah, that's all I can say. But it's very sad the way the country is going, and it's because of things are not right. Even if Raila keeps quiet for the next 5 years, 10 years, Kenya is already sold. Yeah.
Chalimo, you said you come from Masingishu. I don't know if you can hear me. What do you make of what is happening? Do you see the country headed in the right direction?
Jobs, I think it's really a sad situation today because if you can call those people who used to make some statistics on who is popular, at this time. I think today Raila was more popular than our president in terms of who is really doing good in sight of making people to realize the economy is really hard on our side. And opinion polls, it could be taken today as it used to be. I think Raila would take the highest point of popularity in this country. And also, what my fellow friends are saying about the dollar and whatever. Today, it was really, maybe the dollar was good today, but because of what happened today, I'm sure in a week's time, it will affect our shilling. And to respond on the west and the east, what Ruto is supporting, Chinese really has really done a lot to our country, because what we are doing now, what we are using in our market today, most of the items we are using is from China. And last month or last time, Chinese opened a Chinese square, of which it was really a business center which could really assist Kenyans, especially within Nairobi. But within some time, you had our leaders, they were really supporting other business people rather than supporting the low-earning people, which they were really supported by the same business center. So which means we are not really, our leaders are not really doing something to help us. They are doing their own way of living themselves. So within Wasingishu, as you asked me, today Wasingishu was really cool, although people were discussing underground more about economy, and they were really seeing what was going on within Nairobi. And most of the people I talk with, it's only that not all people can talk the way I'm talking myself. But people are saying Raila is the right person to save us through this economic crisis. So don't think that Wasingishu is really, Wasingishu is like any other town. It's only that not they are in a shock, as I can say, because we expected a lot from the current president. We expected a lot, and it is really a short time. But because of this demonstration, I think it will be same. This the same situation in all over Kenya. So we cannot really say because we come from presidential, our president's home. We face the same problem. In fact, now it's raining. The economy is really down. We have been given some fertilizers through subsidy, but you cannot fertilizers. But a lot of other things are fuel. You cannot go to the farm without a fuel. So it's not easy for us to do so many things here.
Okay. Benson, do you think what Chelimo is saying is something that is serious, given that one is saying he feels that Raila was the best deal that Kenya never had? What is your opinion on that? If this is someone who's once supported the president, but now feels probably he made a mistake. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying that from what he's saying, do you think it's too early to judge. That call is correct. Benson, unmute. Benson, unmute yourself, sir.
All right. Thank you, Jex. I concur with the Jelimu. Perhaps Raila was the right choice. One, this guy is experienced in running the government, because we can see the people, the so-called the people who are in power, that were given by the sovereign people of this country, in court, either legitimately or unlegitimately, the country is not going to the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps we can attribute, because they are running government with being deceitful, no truth is coming out of them since the time they took out power and up to now. Because now they were telling us the country, now they are telling us the country is stable, and they told us they will not borrow. Already, perhaps they have borrowed 600 billion, of whereby we don't know where they are. Secondly, they have collected the taxes for the few months of almost 1 trillion. We don't know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have taken the parliament a supplementary budget, whereby it has a due of almost 700 billion, whereby they are saying they are going to borrow that 700 billion, so that they will add to the supplementary budget, so that they will implement what they want to do, which I don't think the country is going to the right direction. And secondly, when you see the public service, there is a lot of discrimination, of which we know public service holds not just many, it holds few people. But us as Kenyans, what we are asking is it possible that you bring to the economy at a lower, is it possible that you bring commodities with the low prices so that every Kenyan can afford to eat either a plate or a breakfast in a day, like just the government of Kibaki? Because we saw the government of Kibaki, everybody was able to put a food on the table. That is simply what we are asking. But this government is not heeding to our call. It's not heeding to our call of what we want as Kenyans, because people there are suffering. Either you are a Kalenjin, either you are a Masai, you are a Kikuyu. The normal people are suffering. And last week I was in Empu and I transferred up to Muranga, and people really are suffering. And therefore, we were not asking this government a lot. We're asking that the commodities should come down. And perhaps Raila is doing a good job. And now you can see that the government want to victimize him by saying he's always hungry for shedding blood. He's always there to disrupt the government. No. I think now if this Mzee dies, I don't know who will stand for Kenyans. Because this Mzee has standed in a right position to our nation. And even we can see it's not our leaders who are running our government. It seems that the Western countries are running the governments in Africa countries. That is a neo-colonialism coming on another way around, of which we never intend to do so. You can see the this thing called LGBT, which even the Bible doesn't allow us as a Christian. And you can see the people who are eating with the who are eating in the table with the president and his colleagues. They are not talking. They are not talking anymore. They have closed. At least the Muslim, you can see the Muslims. They went to the street of Mombasa. They are saying that they don't want LGBT, and now it seems that us as Christians we have denounced God. We don't know now to go to the streets as a Christians, because we shall lose what we used to get. All the bishops and the pastors will lose what they always get from the table of the office of the president. And another thing of whereby it has brought up to the concern of Kenyans is about government, nominating the government, revoking others, of which we are asking, where do we get money to pay all these people? The 50 CS almost, that is 2.39 billion a year. I think it's a year. Where do we get this money to pay these people while Kenyans are suffering?
Okay. I hear you, sir. Before I even ask you another question, allow me to welcome Nanvota. Nanvota, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now, what do you make of what happened today, sir?
Today was a circus show, if I would put it in a simple words. Because like yesterday, the man Ruto said that there are people who are just followers, and today was a clear indication that these people, without their leader, they cannot organize themselves. It ended up chaotic. Buildings were destroyed, and the police had to enforce the law. So what happened? Ilikuwa a failure on their part. But as a non-voter, I am pro demonstration. I am pro demonstration, but I'm not pro the ideology that these people are serving us. Kama venye my guy here Benson said amejaribu to put a hint to this neo-colonialism, but it's a definite fact. It's happening in Kenya. Politics of deceit began since 1963, since the day we got independence. Tukiangalia with the case of Jaramogi Odinga and the betrayal, so it's been politics of deceit since ever then. So as an non-voter, we hope that the revolution is a way that indicates a better future. The demonstration indicates a better future, lakini we are not where we're supposed to be right now as Kenyans, because of capitalism imetumaliza. Why go to the ballots and vote? Kama the guy Ruto is a white sympathizer. Na ukiangalia Raila is a loyalist to the imperialist cause. So you pick the better of the two evils. So if you look closely to the last interview yenye PLO Lumumba alifanya on Jeff Koinange live, kuna kitu alisema, lakini the problem with PLO Lumumba, he doesn't make things clear. Alisema I try to stay away from this American type of presidents. Mbona kutueleza what he meant by that statement? Ndo Kenya tusonge mbele, tujue what's fucking up our country, nini naribu country yetu. The white imperialists are still here. Neo-colonialism is live. So how can we huyu atatuletea bora things tuende maandamano tumlete, while yeye bado tu ni sympathize? How will the Americans help him any better than they're helping Ruto? How will they make things better? So I think today was a circus show. Anyway, it's hopeful for us.
Now, do you think it will bear anything, like after it happened and all? Do you think we'll have any results, any positive or negative repercussion, or will today bear fruits, depending on the demands that they had?
They are likely to bear fruits. Because Ruto is under pressure right now. You can see him addressing him as your honorable Gashagwa na maneno zake chafu. We can see now he's toning his voice down, anatumia maneno mzuri, so itashukisha the cost of living juu hiyo ndo the main pressure, lakini I don't think there will be any regime change. There won't be a regime change.
Okay.
Yeah.
What of the IBC? Do you think we will have a dialogue, because they feel as if they have been left out? It's like the government it's having its own pick. It's not allowing or involving the opposition side to also equally have a say. And the president is steadfast saying that he will not do anything outside the constitution. So everyone is pulling on their own end. So what do you see, sir? Will we have a deal brokered and probably have a negotiation on the IBC?
I will speak from an unvoter's perspective because I'm an unvoter. I am not me siko na with any of those political parties, so I don't think that it will bring any changes. Kama ati Raila had his team there, Maruto had his full team there, it wouldn't change anything in our electoral system. We don't run our electoral system. We've clearly known that. The white imperialist is sympathetic to his idea, he lets him stay in power. Let's say if Ruto was not sympathetic to the ideology, then today's revolution would have been a very big success.
Okay.
Yeah, if Baba had the backing of the internationals, the Americans were backing him up, then today would be on the newsline and Vice News would be here in Kenya right now, talking about a revolution. Since he has no one backing him up, and the man has made himself the god that he's made himself, now the people cannot think freely. They need a prophet. They need their prophet to show them this is the way forward. So it's a useless cause. Nevertheless, it's something that indicates a bright future.
Okay. Kumi yako, I don't know. Today, do you think anything will come out of today on any other Monday that follows today?
Well, the way my friend and voter has said, this is just another circus. We've been witnessing this circus for a very long time, and most of our ideology is tribal based. Until we come out of our villages and realize the bigger picture of our country, the love of the country over the love of a tribe, then we can go far. A good example is Rwanda. Rwanda, as much as they have a dictator, the country is prosperous. The country is moving forward. Okay? And they have a neighbor, which is Congo, that is in constant fighting. Okay? Kenya, we should be ahead of Rwanda 10 times. And now our MPs and MCAs are going to Rwanda for benchmarking. Is that Maendeleo? No, it's not Maendeleo. The same Raila. Raila, I don't know what he's fighting for this time round. He said he's fighting for the cost of he's fighting for a lot of cause. But then the issue is here. Once he gets closer to power, he forgets everyone else. That's another problem with Raila. When the handshake happened, Raila could have still headed the country forward and say, listen, Kenyans, we've embraced peace. From now on, let's treat each other equally. Let's treat each other fairly. He didn't do that. You should have, after the handshake, Raila should have gone to parliament and addressed the parliament, as a not as a head of state, but as a statesman, he should have gone to all the villages, and address and get money out to their opinion on what they want for the future. They don't do that.
Okay.
So we can never move ahead unless our leaders see us voters as their masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Susan, I don't know if you're there, and you're lucky because I'm coming straight to you. I don't know if you're there. If you can hear me, just say something. Susie, are you there? Susie Kellen? Susie, are you there? Okay, let me go to Putin. Putin, what do you make of what happened today? Putin.
Yes, Putin, niko hapa.
What do you make sense of what happened today?
Okay, what happened today?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. It's just I saw a lot of disorganization from the side of protesters,
Mm-hmm.
whereby they confronted the police and they caused a lot of mayhem. You know,
Mm-hmm.
peace protection.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Putin, I can hear you. Putin, you've muted yourself. Oh, you even kicked yourself out. Kichwa Maji. Kichwa Maji, are you there? Kichwa Maji, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
In your own view, can we find a truce between what is happening so as to have the president and Raila and everyone else who is at stake, including the Kenyan people, and then probably have a dialogue that brings out a solution to all this?
Yeah, one thing that is letting down Mr. Raila is there's that perception that people say he has been doing this all these years. But one thing that they forget is he has been doing it for different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
When he was with Matiba back in 80s or early 90s,
Mm-hmm.
he was fighting for democracy. He wasn't fighting to be a president at that moment.
Uh-huh.
And came near the election of 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he knew he could not win the election. But all that noise he was making is one day Kenya is going to have free and fair election with a new constitution that respects every citizen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not fair when people say that Raila has been doing this and that after every election.
Okay.
And for whatever has happened, that people are trying, like, what is he trying to achieve right now? I think people forget that if Raila was a violent person, if Raila wanted a seat through the back door, I don't think Raila will have gone through, and there's no any other politician that have gone through in African continent except the current president of Congo, that he has vied for seat for a couple of, and he has been fighting for democracy too, and the rights of Congolese. And lastly, yes, he got the power, but Raila hasn't got it. But this time around, I think Raila has been taken back to 1991. The objectives have changed. And the objective is not him necessarily getting into seat, but you have to use that also sometimes for your opponent to know that you mean business.
Mm-hmm.
That if he doesn't do what the masses want, then you can also vacate you can also vacate State House and let us run things. But Raila sees what most people don't see, and most average Kenyans don't see. And the reason why I'm saying that, he's also a human. Don't get me wrong that I'm elevating him to a status that maybe he doesn't belong to. But it was when he lost, after this election, according to his age, Raila would have gone home. You know, he would have kept quiet and never even give any press briefing or anything. And he would have been fine. And he knows, and everybody else knows, that there's no way he's going to get the seat. No matter how hard he tries to do, there's no way he can get seat. Everybody knows that. There has to be an election, that will put him to State House. But when I say he has seen things that most average Kenyans don't see, and a couple of kumi yake, he has already said about it, that the issue of Raila coming back right now is Mr. Ruto. He has bought the parliament. Kumi yangu, he already said it. He has bought the judiciary, and these are the things that Raila sees that it can't keep him stay at home, and retire, because now he's back to square one again, dealing with worse than Moi, because Moi at the end he was also he got tired, but now we have an energetic, he has the support of the West. In his own terms, he is a billionaire too. Now, at the end of the day, I believe that Raila is not there to get presidency or to get to go through the back door to get the presidency, but he is fighting for what Kenyans don't see, and it is that constitution is being upheld by whoever is in the State House. That this mass spending, rewarding cronies, is getting to an end. And the average Kenyan can maintain life and take their kids to school, and these are the things that I think Raila is seeing, but other average Kenyans who are, and the other thing is also tribalism. Tribalism is really, really, really killing Kenyans. But shida ikizidi, I think also mtu yetu ndo wako ndani, it's not gonna help, because Moi has been there for 24 years, but Kalenjin's problem has never ended. It's still there. The same problems they face, coast people face, other regions also face. I think pia it takes time, pia watu watairevuka.
Kumiango, I don't know if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
Let me ask: do you feel, or is it me, that probably the president is, if it is not his own thinking, he's getting wrong advices? Because I don't know how to put it. You can imagine the timing of announcing the CASs. There was a looming demonstration and all, and then he goes ahead and published 50 names. Yesterday, he said some statements that rubbed people in a wrong way. Do you think he's having wrong advisors, or the people surrounding him who are telling him even to stay strong and stand firm against any form of handshake or dialogue? Do you think he's getting wrong advice, or he's just a man you cannot direct? He's his own man.
I mean, if he's clever enough to rig himself and put himself to power, what other advice does he need? And then the other thing is, Ruto is preparing for 2027. So all these, as you could see, the lineup. When you hire people like Kidero, people, people like YT too, he questions you like, these are people who are facing charges in court. Yeah. And you're sitting here telling us you're going to boost the economy. It's like me being a bank manager, say, okay, we're going to increase the shareholders, the dividends and everything, but we're going to hire Wanugu and these other criminals, non-criminals, in Kenya, like, you're hiring John Kiriamiti into the bank, and you're telling people, don't worry, the economy will stabilize. How is it going to stabilize? Ruto's main focus should not be hiring the CSS. He should be, his main focus should have been how to grow the economy. And what is he doing now? He's crippling the economy. Instead of hiring CSS, he should have at least created like hubs for like activities, like renovation, innovation hubs, using that money. We have the seven provinces that we had previously before the devolution. Those provinces could have been enhanced as innovation hubs, where one becomes science center of excellence in regards to, let's say, manufacturing metallic items. One is wood, the other one is maybe leather industry, something like, and it's going to cost him less than 100 million set up such hubs. Okay, or giving that money to universities to innovate things and come up with solution for our problems. He's not doing that. His main focus 2027. Come 2027, we'll be still here talking about the same thing.
Okay.
So Ruto is not solving the problem. The announcement of the CSS was a political statement. As soon as they released those names, Kidero, he was given his microphone and government vehicles and his funding activities in Homa Bay, not for development, so that the president can come back. Gachagua every Sunday is on the pulpit talking, not for the sake of the Monanchi, for the sake of Ruto. Politicians, they make a lot of statements outside parliament and inside parliament.
Okay.
You see, you look at our mainstream media. It's just Ruto this, Ruto that, Ruto this, Ruto that. All these are gimmicks, and it's not going to solve our problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
A man from Bondo, do you think Ruto's card was overplayed? Because we were told how he is a performer and all, and he came out strong, castigating the wrongs of Uhuru. Now he's the man on the driver's seat, and we see him make one mistake after another. Do you think his card was overplayed, either by the media or by himself, or by acting as a victim, and eventually somehow, through sympathy, he found his way to power, and he's not what he used to say he is?
Yeah, thank you back for another opportunity. And first and foremost, there's one thing I'd love to say. In any political event, these pages, Mtembei, I think this is the first ever in my life to be in a panel with very sound-minded people, which is hardly to get. And as I said before, the media is a very powerful tool, and the type of people who use it and how they use it. So I think this is one of a very special one in Century, and maybe probably as somebody had mentioned the years of 40 years. I'm also 40 years, and I've been a voter. So there is a lot of things we might understand that the generation behind us don't understand, because in life generally, I think we have a chance within a lifespan of 5 years to vote. How we vote today is not for we live what our forefathers voted or our fathers. So if I go to the street and cheer Ruto, Nieke Ruto, by what he will put in place will interfere with my children, not me.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is also one thing that we don't really know when we are voting. We just think ni mtu wangu, but every 5 years we vote to make for that person. We are affecting somebody's life who is in, maybe if we voted last year, then probably we voted for somebody who is in class 7.
Okay.
Yeah, before, when he's out of school, he will find Ruto to be his president.
Okay.
And we're already complaining. So we should have made it better for him by choosing a right person. Yeah, I think that's also one thing that we should always put in mind, that when we vote, we just don't vote for ourselves. We live the circumstance we complain about today are about because of the people who are ahead of us, maybe 10, 15 years, how they voted.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the issue with Ruto was not underestimated. I think Ruto is a performer, but not a performer in an informed way. You know, there are things you can be good at. Like somebody said, if you can rig your way in, what advice do you need? And I think the kind of advice today we hear, like you hear somebody talking about the 9 provinces and what you can do. We don't need a lot of money. Even he quoted some cash, what should be needed, you know. The thing is, does he even have a structure and a plan? Yeah, the structure and the plan he has is already visible by the people he has elected and for reason he has elected them. Yeah, it is very clear. It's not a doubt. Two, we equally have people who don't understand much, and then also as we wish to correct things, there are things we have to consider, like neo-colonialism. And I think how we can do this and improve this is by first maybe informing the local people. Since I've had a chance to listen to many, and I hear they are of sound mind from different areas, different representative of tribes. So I think it should be very easy for us to express the message to our own people in our own language, to be able to understand about what we want to improve or to make things happen. There's the part where the government will play, and there's the part where me and you have to play. And the biggest part should be informative and enlightenment before we bring in the issue of cash. Cash will never make any change. Subsidy never make any change. Fertilizer, like someone says, you get the fertilizer, but you don't have the petrol to go to the farms. So when you have a plan, when you don't have a working plan, a working structure, then we are not going anywhere. So I think Ruto has been overrated, and the team he has, you can see since the beginning, how they got into power the first time, the second time, yeah, the kind of people, Millicent Omanga. You know, in real sense, we don't need a second chance in parliament to prove or to go and convince people that this and this is what we've done in the ground or we can do in the ground. Physically, it's evitable. But if you find somebody can stand in a podium as we talk and keep on spreading lies, keep on giving promise, then he's not the problem. The audience is the problem. So we could be fighting the wrong person. We could be trying to solve the problem from a wrong angle. We know him. We know how he is. We know he's a go-getter. We know he's an achiever. But do we take care of the society? Because the information that we give to the society and how we teach them and why they should do as we say is what will make the change. Raila has fought a good fight because he understood what he was doing. I'm 100% sure, more than convinced, the members of parliaments, most of them that have gotten into parliament without understanding anything through rogue means, through anxiety, trigger happy, people wanting to find people into parliament with their own identity, their own likeness, their own will, than the main agenda goal of how to do stuff. Do we have a structure? And that one is I can confidently say, sorry to say, for many years, Kenya, we don't know what we are doing. Uhuru is the only one who tried a little bit with Kibaki. And I cannot equally blame the country much, because we are young of independence. I mean, a country where they got independence 1,000 years ago. Full freedom, with all the rights and power to the citizen. We make the choices of tomorrow. I wish in Kenya they could consider and look at, we are a people. We all have a mouth, a stomach, an eye to see, a ear to listen. Why can't we learn to embrace each other before we want to identify us with names or tribes? That's the biggest problem we have.
Okay.
And there is no tribalism. I think we should be proud of being people of different tribes. That's the beauty of it, and in diversification. But should it affect the right to have, the right to need? So I think, having answered your question, I think, to be honest, Ruto knows his scheme, his goal, and it's far away from maybe what we should need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kichamaji, I don't know if you're there. Kichamaji? Kichamaji, you're there? Unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Now, today we saw, or rather, there was the swearing in of the Solicitor General Mose, and there's what the president said after his swearing in. He said that one of the things that Parliament is doing is pushing forth the 2/3 gender rule. Now, and from his appointment, we have not seen him pushing for that 2/3 gender rule. He's having 30 men and 4 ladies, for instance, if I can use that as a mathematical question. Now, do you think he's one man who says this, but when it comes to acting, he's acting different? Because I don't think having 2/3 in parliament, but we cannot reciprocate it in either government appointments and all, is not the way to go for any person calling for 2/3 gender rule. What do you think, sir?
Yeah, and that is what I think my friend mentioned from the previous speaker about our politicians, that they speak but no action, and the reason is because this guy Ruto, he's a sweet talker, and he's a pathetic liar who has got no shame. Yeah, and I don't know how somebody will live and see himself thinking and knowing that outside there, some people view me as a liar, a sweet talker who can say anything, and many statements can prove. When you go from the stadiums issue, why will he speak on behalf, about the stadium issues? That was not his place. That was Uhuru's place to lie to people, because Uhuru was the one who was looking for the top seat.
Mm-hmm.
But he's that aggressive. I think you guys remember 2007 when PNU, they were calling some of the headliners in ODM that is Ruto.
Mm-hmm.
He will push unexistent things into your throat.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like it or not, you take it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now he's in a position whereby Kenyans, they have to take it because they got no other option.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be the end of his life.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one project
Mm-hmm.
that he's going to initiate as a president. And by the next 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
you will see that project completed without any scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is what he is. And I don't think this is, I don't blame this on Kenyans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that Kenyans voted for this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Raila, if he would have played his card well, then we would have been in this scenario.
Okay.
Because they're masters in these people, you know, the masters, when these two candidates were going to the master to get the support of the master, Ruto prevailed because he was a sweet talker.
Okay.
And I think the only thing he asked them, I'm ready to work with you guys. What do you need from me? Because I've already accepted whatever you need. And one of those things is the gay rights by the Supreme Court. The other thing is the GMO. And this, it just happened that during that, you know, the first 2 months of his regime. And that is how he prevailed. The way he lied to Kenyans. But you cannot lie to your master. And that's why I'm saying Kenya it has done a very big about turn, because when Kenya is being controlled by the masters, you don't expect anything good. And he will not care about any project. He will not care about Kenyan situation, how people are doing. He will never care about it, because he will have the money to buy the church. He will have the money, you know, to buy some Muslims. He will have the money to buy any politician. He will buy his way to the next election. Yeah, whether people like it or not.
Okay.
Thank you.
I see we have another new panelist, Sugoi Leadership. I don't know if you're there, sir. Unmute so that I can hear you.
Yo, Mia, I'm here. You know, I'm just been listening from the background, and I'm excited to see what Kenyans do today, because basically it's just fighting for their rights. I think the Sugoi leadership is inadequate. It's lacking, you know, in all aspects. I think we have, for the first time in Kenya, we have a president who is horror, who is not able to manage the basic affairs of the country. And for the lack of a better word, he's a man who is taking this country to the dogs, if I may put it that way. So basically, what we are saying here is a situation that is going to escalate in the few days, and we are not going to have a country. In fact, I feel in my heart like we have destroyed the very fabric of a nation. Therefore, Sugoi leadership is a term I'm using because I believe that he's messed up. He's messing up, and to start with, like my previous the previous speaker said, he's a liar. He lies. He lied to the top. He actually lies. He loves God, and he doesn't, because you don't love God and still right to the people, you know. So it's gonna get pathetic with time. I believe that his regime is gonna tip off. It's gonna fall off, so that we have a country that makes sense. You know what I mean? So basically, from my young, I feel like Kenyans did a good job, and I love what happened within the international media. They showed Kenya as a failed state, like people being tear gassed because of fighting for their right. You know, it's just crazy. I like it. I like it that way, so that at the end of the day, we have a country that makes sense. I mean, what was wrong if the president could have allowed the people to gather and just say and sing their songs and protest about high cost of living? Why should you tear gas innocent people and kids? Makes him look so bad. Makes him look so bad. And therefore, uh, it won't get better. I believe there will be no more investors in Kenya. I believe that Kenya will not grow. I think now the dollar is at 150. So as a, he's I thought for many years I thought he was a smart politician, but I think he's just a horrible politician. He doesn't know how
Okay.
to take Kenya to the next level. Yeah, thank you.
I love your submission, sir. Allow me to ask Nanvot. I don't know if you're still with us, sir. There's this thing you're seeing. Nanvot, are you there?
I'm here. I'm
Now,
here.
there's this thing you're seeing where we are seeing religion finding its way into our politics. Not that it's a bad thing or it's a good thing, depending from what angle you look at it from. But we see that there's so much spending uh, all in the name of it's a service, it's a function or a forum where religious leaders are called and they are told to preach in front of the president and all, and hence the church has kind of lost its voice, because I remember one of the panelists said that the bishops are nowhere to be seen, because even when they speak, they are afraid they might lose what they have been receiving from the state. Do you think it was wrong? It's wrong to involve religion into leadership? Uh, and in any case, it's not all the religion; it's a specific religion, because Kenya. We have all the religions. So, and also there are those who don't even believe in the religion to start with. So, do you think it was a wrong move, and we are seeing it trickling down to the counties as well?
Thank you, Jake. I think mixing religion with politics is hypocritical. Ruto wouldn't be the first man to do this. We've seen throughout in history, the first man to do this actually was the revival of the Roman Empire in the 3rd century. Constantine, Constantine the Conqueror, is the one who conquered Constantinople and named it after him. The guy portrayed himself as a Christian ruler only to gain sympathy from the Christian knights, the Christian Templars na wale the civilians when walikuweko there, most of them were sympathetic to Christianity. And akaona kwamba the Roman Empire was falling, and the only thing that could bring them together was to gain the sympathy of the Christians. So aka used Christianity and he united the Roman Empire. And history recently has been made about this Constantine, and all evidence points that he was a pagan believer. He believed nothing in Christianity. Lakini he's the first man to use Christianity as a tool of politics to gain influence. That's why it wouldn't be different from Ruto. It's his time to do this. We've seen this before, and it's not something new.
And I don't know. There was clamor for the constitutional change, we would see like Njoya, the cardinal. He was vocal as a minister of the word and all, and the church was vocal, and it was able even to change the constitution. Do you see the church of today standing out and coming out strong if a simple legislation or a court of law can just pronounce something like LGBTQ, and as Benson was saying, it is only the Muslim we have seen protesting. We have not seen the Christians coming out strong and marching and protesting. We have not seen them in the streets, demonstrating and saying this is wrong. And Benson was saying it's probably because the bishops or the leaders have been compromised. So do you see the church coming out strong after this and creating a way that we are able to count on the church to stand for our nation?
I wouldn't say that the church would come out and condemn it, because we know where they get their donations. So there's no way they would come out and condemn it. Kama come out and condemn it, then they would also condemn the bad leadership, and they would be neutral. That is the place of the church, to remain neutral. Once they've picked a side, that means that they've decided everything that the government does, they're going to be for the government. So we're not going to see a chance where the church is going to come out and speak about LGBTQ issues. And the most don't have power in Kenya. So them protesting is just hot air. We were expecting it from the Muslims, of course. They are radicals, and it's not a bad thing. Sometimes we have to be radical to protect our cultures. So we expected it from them, but it's a failure from the church part. Like we also expected it, since they picked a side. Yeah.
Kumiangu,
So,
if I can. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, just go on. I'll be here, me.
Oh, okay. Benson, before I come to you, or I don't know, you have something to say, Benson? Benson, I can see your hand. Go ahead.
Jax, let me add just something on the issue that was being raised by Nanpota. Of course, there's this one man that I can't believe to say, it seems there's a light in him. This bishop from Nyeri diocese, what do you call him? Anthony Mwaria. I think he's the only person who had a statement through social media. I think it was Twitter, who said that you're now selling our nation for donation, like soul. And in fact, he has been very categorically saying that the government should do what is right and give the opposition to play their role. And in fact, I think it's the only now a man of God who has been standing truthfully to his words. For example, we saw Olesa Pitt running there from the starting the time of campaigning, politics, all that. Now he's nowhere to be seen. By there, I saw he is among. There's a constituted committee by the minister for the CS for education that will go around the schools to teach. I don't know, to teach us to sensitize or about the LGBT not to penetrate into schools. How shall it? That means LGBT is there to stay, and there's rumors also that they are coming here in Kenya building a very big universities, of which you can imagine building a university by an LGBT group. That means they want to increase the number, or they want to change the ritual behavior that we used to have in Kenya. I think that's so. I was just adding that. Thank you.
Okay. Kumiangu, you are there?
Niko hapa. Sasa, we've seen a lot about this, these LGBTQ things. I moved to UK in 2001.
Okay.
from 2001 mpaka sai niko hapa.
Okay.
So when I assess this discussion in LGBTQ in Kenya, sometimes I just laugh. Because this thing is being controlled by very powerful people. Unaona? These are people who are now controlling the American economy, the UK economy, you know, the banks, the industry, the healthcare, you name it. Any major industry is controlled by them. Okay? Now, over the years, I've been assessing situation in Africa, how they will penetrate the African market.
Okay.
Because hii ni biashara yao. Huku in the Western world, biashara yao imekuwa ni turning, unabadilisha mwanaume anakuwa mwanamke na mwanamke anakuwa mwanaume. Hii yote inataka medical surgery, hormone injection. Hii ni biashara. You can look at from a cultural point of view, yes. These people are looking from all manner of angles. How to control the society, how to tame the society. Unaona? Well, mtu anaamka leo asubuhi mwanaume, ikifika jioni anasema mimi sitaki kuvaa suruali, nataka kuvaa marinda. Na hiyo yote si ati kupenda kwake. Amefanyia brainwashing over the years. Unaona? So sisi sahi Kenya, the brainwashing has just started. Na utaziona kwa ma music, kwa ma movie, celebrities. Kidogo kidogo utasikia tu parliament scandal imefika. MP ameshikwa na kijana. That's how it starts, you know, in the Western world. Oh, so and so MP has been caught with a man in his room. Hiyo yote ni by design. Oh, footballer fulani ametokezea. Ati yeye sasa ni gay. Oh, sijui bishop fulani amejitokezea. Hiyo yote ni by design. Si kupenda kwao. So watu wanalipwa pesa to spread these things and they're enforcing it.
Okay.
Kumi yangu actually haijaanza leo.
Yeah.
Haijaanza leo bro. This thing has started a very long time. Do you know a movie by the name Nairobi Half-Life? Inaportray two characters. Inatuportray two characters. One is a gangster and the other one is a gay dude. So, lakini the main character wana focus nayo ni ya huyu the Nairobi Half-Life, huyu jamaa the gangster guy. Lakini at the end of the movie where that guy anampiga kisu ule mwingine, tuna realize kwamba pia huyu jamaa anaishi Nairobi Half-Life. Huko nje watu wanajua ni mtu mwingine, kumbe is living a half-life. So that was the inakuwa introduced slowly. And Nairobi Half-Life ilitolewa lini, Jack? Sini kitambo sana.
Some years back, yeah.
This thing has been there, and the cross-dressing, ametuletea comedians ya cross-dressing. It's been there. Thank you.
Yeah, so those are the issues now. For us, wengi wetu, you know, lazima usimame nje ndo, you need to look at the world from a different view. Hii world ambayo tuko ndani saa hii is not the one that we lived in wakati tulikuwa vijana. Hii ni world ingine tofauti sana. Saa hii hata mtoto wa miaka 5 anaweza kukudanganya mpaka unaamini.
Okay. Kidogo tu, allow me to, nilikuwa nimesawa watu kwa comment, wacha ni wasalimu kidogo alafu tuendelee na show. Naona Linet wa Bomba anasema hivi, Jex, umetuweka tu kwa giza kwa screen, hatuoni watu. Okay. Wanadai muwashe kamera tuwaone. There is Daktari Genyi Sharif, anasema yeye ni daktari ambaye anapatikana Nairobi. Meka namba yake ya simu hapo, if unahitaji services zake tafadhali. Ashaweka hapo link. Jamaa anajiita nani? You never know Melo. You never know Melo anasema I'm an artist and I would like you to view and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ameweka hapo link. support him. The man anajiita nani hapa? Kenneth Magusho anasema if you are men enough, why don't you go to State House? I think anaongelea mada ya leo, naona Getting hapo. Anasema Bishop Moyeri is a brother to Central Bank Governor and was a diehard of Uhuru the man. Aha, naona nani mwingine hapa. Watu ni wengi ambao wanatuma comments. Wacha tujue unatuona ukiwa wapi, wacha tusikie maoni yako, wacha tukupate, wacha tuendelee na watu ambao wanatufuata live. Kumi yangu nilikuwa na swali ili tunaporejelea kwa mada ya leo.
Go ahead.
President tumeona amekuwa akiteua watu na kuna uvumi kwamba ya kuwa yeye ana reward tu wale wanamsupport. Na wewe kama mtu ambaye umeishi huko nje, je, hiyo ndio culture inaendelezwa na wale ambao wanatawala hizo nchi ambazo mko? You only reward those who support you, those who didn't, you bash them out.
Well, unajua, we have to look at two things, yeah? The economy that we are in hapa, hata nobody cares nani atakuwa, hata prime minister sijui akuwe kipofu, akuwe kiwete, nobody cares. People just care about their mortgage, their interest rate. That's what they care about.
Okay.
Sasa nchi kama Kenya, yeah? We are just fixed with one thing. Who is in power? Ukienda huko village sahi, hii devolution, ukienda sahi huko kijiji, mtu hata amesahau biashara yake, anafikiria nani MCA wake, sijui nani ndo, sijui CC, sijui nani ni chief officer. Yani people are just fixed with just looking for position. Na hiyo culture ni mbaya sana, because what it stops people from developing, even thinking like freely. Unajua wewe fikra yako pia inakuwa narrowed to one thing. Yes, kuna issue ya tribalism, kuna issue ya nepotism. It's here as well. But people care about what this person is doing in the office.
Okay.
They don't care who's in the office. They care what is he doing in that office. Kama he's not delivering, atoke, anatolewa na dirisha. Sasa for us, we don't care what this guy is doing in office. We just want to know huyu ni tribe gani, huyu sijui ni kijana ya nani, huyu sijui ni mtoto wa nani. Today, the same question today I was reading, like on the Sky News. In Afghanistan now, which is deemed not to be democratic place. The Taliban leader anasimama hapo anasema, kama umeandika kijana yako kazi, mtoe kazi sahi. Because he can see he cannot develop that nation kuwa na nepotism na hizo vitu.
Okay.
Yeah.
A man from Bondo, we saw the police today use some would say excess force. But when we truly want them to truly come out, for example, when we hear news of bandits attacking people at night and all, we don't see and feel that force. Do you think as a force, as a police force, they're getting their priorities wrong rather? Like what they should really focus on, they're not focusing on it. But today, if they just allowed peaceful processions, ingekuwa tu sawa. Do you think our police at times they get it wrong?
Thanks a lot again. I think the police, they don't get it right. Yeah, and it's difficult for them to be able to manage the bandits. As I talked before during the Maandamano thing, the place it took place and the police running, you know, when you know your topography and you are smart, you are smart. So the problem that is there is that it's unfortunate that the government on its own, first, the kind of workers they always choose to do the job is for a specific reason. So most of those people, they don't understand a lot of things. masomo nini, so they are not even aware of how to do things, and they want them like that to be able to use them when they need them. So when they get an opportunity to get out after the operation in the camps where they are trigger happy. So they just do stuff, and then at the same time, when you add on that, polisi mwenyewe halipwi vizuri, ana struggle. The whole country is in a certain status yenye philosophically ukistudy na economically, it is even very risky for the whole government to dispatch the whole team of police, nendeni nje mkafanye kazi. That one, there will be proper looting, because they're also looking for those opportunities. So there are people who are looked down upon. Yani ni watu wamedharaulika, ni watu wenye wana feel oppressed, salary ni ya chini, the kind of training yenye ameenda unapigwa. In Europe hapa hakuna polisi anapigwa ama military anapigwa. Umepigwa, uko na frustration, torture mental, and then umepatiwa freedom. You're like a wild dog that has been left out for hunting. Hao ndo watapasua mavio, walete chaos so that they can get the opportunity to steal. And that is the sad state of affairs. Sometimes these people, you see, it's like they have uniform. Yes, there's this thing like contract tunaambiwa, things within a department, ni private or this. So some of them, they know that what they do, they use as the tools for them to extort people and get money. If they don't want, unafukuzwa. So it's not that they properly get paid, because if they have to get properly paid, there should be a structure from the governmental aspect of how to work and how to get taxes. Kama hatuna a working structure, a plan. That's why we have more than 4,000 graduate doctors outside. If we don't know what we are doing and we have things to protect, then we are in chaos, we are in a mess. And that's the reason why every time you use the word, watu wakikusanyika unasikia chaos. That's already a mind that is in chaos. So ukiwa you are not stable mentally, ujui utakula wapi, utafanya nini, how life will be tomorrow, the risk. When you are taken out, you're already in chaos. The only thing is that the conducive atmosphere has allowed you to be what you are actually are. Unaona? Na ukapeleka kule kwingine, they cannot manage, because that's also a different scenario. That is not chaotic. It is organized. Those are people who are organized. And they organize how to do their jobs. So I think the competence within them in that manner and how they can think or conduct their duties, professionalism, I think ni kidogo sana.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't need at any cost to trigger conflict. If the rioters hawafanyi kitu mbaya, and you understand they have a right to demonstrate. A right to demonstrate is a right to demonstrate.
Okay.
And if you're not well trained or you are not honest to yourself, then it's very easy for you out of fear also to trigger war. And that also tells you that when that one can happen or happens, there is a problem with the kind of training they have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up the show, allow me to say that I'm grateful for the people joining us live. I see Claire Musula, you're saying you're watching us from Kakamega. Who else is joining us from afar? You can tell me where you're watching us from. Maybe I'll just go around one more time and ask for your sentiments. What should be done? What is your clarion call as a Kenyan, whether at home or at far? What should be done? Do we continue as we are? Tuendelee na maandamano? What needs to be done? Let me start with kumi yangu, then to Vota Kichwa Maji, then I finish with Mzalendo, with Man from Bondo rather. What needs to happen, kumi yangu? How do we
Well,
move forward?
one thing we need, first of all, we need political maturity in Kenya.
Aha.
Hii siasa ya kila weekend, kwanza weekend imekuwa ni wakati ya siasa. You cannot even go to football entertainment, you know, people cannot even enjoy themselves. You switch on the news, you instead of watching like match of the day live or premiership, you know, something activity, a sport activity in Kenya, or an event, you know, or a good show. There's a Kenyan content. Like when we grew up, weekend we used to look forward to Tausi, you know, those kind of shows, you know.
Yeah.
Sahi ukifungua tu TV, mbunge fulani ametusi huyu, mwingine amefanya, yani sometimes unasema what is going on, you know.
Yeah.
So we need political maturity. People need to have vision in what they want for this country. You know, people need to be more patriotic. You know, we need to come up with solutions for our problems.
Okay.
Instead of creating more problems that we cannot solve. Yeah, that's my take.
Kichwa Maji. Kichwa Maji, are you there? Okay. Aman from Bondo, take it home.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think one thing we should first learn to think positive. Positive, not negative.
Okay.
Yeah, for you to do positive thing, you have to start to think positive. And the most positive thing is being honest. When you're dishonest to yourself, then don't expect any positive thing. So we should learn to equate positivity to honesty. That is one. And then the people who are informed, like today in the panel, we and the media personalities like you who steers the media. And I'm very grateful to you. I've never met you before, maybe in Tembei. Yeah, you don't run the shows as others. And I think that's the reason why here we have controlled in people with information, people with sound mind. So I think we need awareness from the informed people.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of awareness from the informed people, not people politicking. Positive mind, informed people. And that's when the people can start to see the light. Maandamano might not help a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, as I've told, that's just a recipe of a chance for people to express who they are in their mind. So most people's mind is chaotic. And then another thing, when you live in a dirty place, your mind becomes chaotic. When you see chaos, your mind becomes chaotic. So we should try to be organized. Yeah, so there's a lot in organization, positivity, media information, proper information, vision. When you speak, somebody sees you and they hear you. They remember a lot than just to listen. So I think that is what can change. And then we will start being positive. We have everything. We have the resources. We have money. We don't need foreign investors. We ourselves, we have money. We have family. But ukituma mtu and a doubt, each chance I will never get it, they still. So if you ruin a job that I give you, and then you look for the government, hata hiyo kazi kidogo utapewa nika kazi. So we should be optimistic, positive, honest. That is the only recipe to change. That is the only recipe to political correctness. Positivity, honesty, optimism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kichamaji, I don't know if you're there. Kichamaji? Kichamaji is still there. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't have said much than what has been said by our lovely panelist. It was a beautiful show. I want to thank you, Mr. Aman from Bondo. I didn't get your name. If I could, I would appreciate. But Kumiyangu, Kumiyako, what is your lovely name, sir?
Mimi naitwa Hassan.
Asante sana Hassan. Aman
Yeah.
from Bondo, what is your name?
Naitwa Regan.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Jakes. It is always a pleasure to have you on board. Thank you, everyone who joined in live. Majid Abdul, I see you. Claire Msula, I've said you. Thank you for being part of us. Edith Wamboka, I see you. Asante sana. Kenneth Karanja, asante for being part of the show. Linet Wabomba, asante sana. I see Gatishu, you are part of the show. Thank you so much. The many of you who took time to listen, to watch live, to send your comments, tunawashukuru sana. To my able panelists, asanteni sana for taking your time. I know it's not easy, but this we do it because we love our country. We are not here.
God bless Kenya. That's it.
God bless our land. God bless our beautiful nation. We are here. Even if we are far from Kenya or we are in Kenya, we love our country. I love you guys. I wish you all the best. Have a fantastic week. I hope tomorrow we'll all go back to work. I hope tomorrow you'll have a good day and a blessed, wonderful week. We wrap it up, but we'll be here whenever we can. I hope to be having this show every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And whenever we need to, we'll always be in. God bless you, Regan. God bless you, Kumiyangu. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely morning. Have a lovely night. Good night. Shalom. Shalom. God bless you.
Shukran. Asante sana.
Same to you. Asante sana.
All right.
Thank you for
Take care, my
hosting us.
brothers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
O God of all creation, blessed is the Lord and nation. Justice the shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within the borders. Let one and all arise. Bring hearts strong and true. Service the harvest and never